YouTubers, I'm back, and what are we going to be talking about today? We are going to be talking about some conversations that I have been having with women, and of course you have seen the obvious. I am not in my, I'm sorry, I'm looking around because of course I'm always nosy. I am not in my van. I am in my truck on this morning. So I wanted to come on today and just talk a little bit about discussions I have been having with women regarding relationships. Now, I've stated on my channel before that I am a pure romance consultant, and because of that, I do believe that women will ask me questions regarding intimacy, sex, being in relationships, so on and so forth. They probably will ask me questions about that, or let's not even say ask me questions. Let's just say we'll have more open dialogue, more open conversations about that than, well, I'm just going to say I've probably had more conversations now that I'm a pure romance consultant that I've ever had just in my regular everyday life, just being a woman. So I've been having, and I'm watching this truck because he is not paying attention. Yeah, get over. Oh, I cannot stand these 18-wheelers. They're so disrespectful. I'm trying to get past another one and we will resume our conversation. Okay, I'm going to get over now. All right. So, as I was stating, I've been having these, and they have been truly very good conversations. But again, intimacy, they're about intimacy, they're about sex, they're about relationships. And what I wanted to talk about is this definition of, well, not even a definition. I guess the question that I'm going to pose to you all that seem to be the theme of the conversations is what's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with it? And I'll probably just title it, this video, What's Love Got to Do With It? So, what does love have to do with anything? When it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex, when it comes to having a partner, what does love, or what's love got to do with it? Well, the growing theme that I keep hearing is, excuse me, when women are calling, or I'm just putting my finger out because most of the time women aren't calling me, they're inboxing me, or they're inboxing me or texting me. That's normally how the conversations may start. Sometimes they do end up on the telephone, but normally they start via text or inboxing on social media. So what I am hearing a lot of is, well, I need something because I'm not in a relationship, or I need something because I have no desire to be in a relationship, or I don't need a man, or I don't desire a man, or I don't desire intimacy in that level. All I want to do is climax, and I'm just being brutally honest. Like, I don't have time for all that. And I'm just throwing out a lot of statements that have been made in, let's just say, I don't want to even say recent conversations, because there's just been a culmination of conversations that I've had with women. So I keep hearing this, really a lot of, I'm not interested. My life is extremely busy. So I just want to hit it and quit it. So what do you have for that? And I'm saying all of these statements, or I'm making all these statements, because a lot of times it's in relationship to, what should I purchase? What would you suggest? What would be your advice on? And I have to absolutely put this disclaimer out there. I am in no way, shape, or form an expert on all things sex, intimacy, relationships, gadgets, toys, bells and whistles. I am no expert, but what I do want to say is that I I am absolutely interested and open to having conversations with individuals in regards to what they think that they, well, not what they think, what they say their needs are, and then saying, hey, if this is something that you think that you would like to try, here we go. This may help you. This is what this can do. This is how this instrument performs. And I'm being very, very careful with my verbiage, because at this point, I don't know what platform, if any platform, I'm going to put this out on, because I'm thinking about putting it on my actual Facebook page. It's a private Facebook, it's a private Facebook page that I have for my Life Her Way Pure Romance followers, but also, of course, YouTube. So I don't know where I'm going to put it, so I'm being very cautious on how I'm speaking right now. So if I'm not saying proper terminology, it's because of that. But you won't hear me say doohickey, and you won't hear me say, you know, crazy stuff. But what's love got to do with it is the growing theme that that to me keeps resonating in all the conversations. So what does love have to do with any of this? Well, when the discussions were going on, a lot of it was, well, you know, when I was younger, I was looking for this excitement and in bed, and a partner, and in my relationship, I wanted to be swept off my feet. I wanted to have all of the things that made me excited about being with my partner. But now at this age, and let me even divvy away from that and say a lot of that was because these are women of a, let's just say, a certain age, a certain maturity about them. So because of their current age and status in life, you know, they're just saying that, you know, I once upon a time wanted that, but now at this age, not so much. I am looking for security. I am looking to be around someone I can trust. I am looking to be around someone that I am compatible with, not on all things, but enough that will matter that, you know, we probably want to go, I'm sorry, a bird just did some stuff and things on my windshield. A person that I would want to maybe go on vacations with, spend time with. I mean, even to the point that I've heard women say, I don't want to live with my partner. I would rather have my partner live in their space, I live in my space, and we come together. So again, these have been some exciting conversations, some very engaging conversations. But then again, when everything boils down to it, the whole premise seems to be about, I'm not even thinking about love. Like, love is not at the forefront of my life right now. I'm like, this is me just talking, and right now, out of my head, I'm like, well, I'm wondering if it's, you know, is it the pandemic? Is it stress? Is it, you know, whatever? I don't know. And in the end, when we as women decide to engage in intimacy, engage in sex, engage in a relationship, and I keep saying those three words separately because there's a difference between being in a relationship, having sex, and being intimate. So they're, to me, three totally different things. So when we as women embark on engaging in a relationship, intimacy, or sex, I think that we have to understand that we are all at a different place and space right now. I do believe that a lot of this is just attributing to the times. I think that we have had a lot of time to sit back and think about our lives and you know, especially during the pandemic when people couldn't move around, like what truly is important to me, what truly matters. And if this really doesn't matter, if this really is not adding value to my life, why am I spending time with it, around it? It could be a thing, it could be a person, it could be a place. I know for me personally, I've had some reflections in regards to where I currently live, and if I am truly interested in having a partner, is that really going to happen where I currently live? Disclaimer, I am still very actively involved with my ex. And disclaimer, full disclaimer, I feel like, I don't even know how to, if that's even a disclaimer. Full disclosure, that's the word I'm full disclosure, not disclaimer. So full disclosure, we have, I think, a better relationship now that we don't have a label than we ever had when we were considered a couple. And I think a lot of it has to do with, because I asked him, and his nickname for me is, I call him Mr. So if you ever hear me say Mr., that's him. So I've asked Mr., what is it? He said, I think we get along better because there are no longer any expectations. Or at least that's what he said about me. Because I still have expectations of him, and we are not a couple, but I still have expectations. I expect when I call him to answer. I expect if I say I need you to come pick me up, he's going to come. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, for the most part, it does happen. If he doesn't pick up, he always calls back. I don't feel like he actively ignores me. And I've made it very clear, even just recently, if you want to date. I don't care. I mean, because I enjoy our relationship. I enjoy the fact that I'm be honest, if I want to have sex with him, I can. But again, if I want to have sex with him, I can. And I know that. But I've made it very clear to him, I want him to be happy. I want him to be with who makes him happy. But again, I have to go back to the conversations of what's love got to do with it. So sometimes I wonder if the reason why he hasn't moved on is because he wants this feeling, or not just even him, just women and men in general. I think that people have not truly moved on to other relationships, and that they kind of stay stagnant in relationships because they're looking for that next, oh, he makes my heart pitter patter, or oh, she makes me want to do better, and she wants me not just do better, but this excitement of this overwhelming love, and like, oh my goodness, I'm so in love. I can truly say I've only been in love 2 times in my life. 2 times. And all the other relationships, I have truly loved the people and wanted the best for them. I wasn't in love with them. And I was okay with that. I think that because I was hurt in those 2 relationships that I called myself being in love with, after the second hurt, I vowed to never get that close to anybody again, because that hurt was too bad and it took too long for me to get over. And I remember back then I kept telling myself, you have so many days to get over this. And every time I would get to that date, if I said you got 5 days to wallow in this, I would get to day 5 and I felt like I was back at day 1. Then I would give myself more days and more days and more days. But I had to understand later in life, I didn't understand then, but I had to understand, I understood later in life that it was a grieving process. I was grieving the death of a relationship, but I didn't know how to articulate it back then. I just knew that after the second time, I didn't want to feel like that ever again. So I know personally, I have never opened myself up to another individual to where I've been that vulnerable. And again, I'm okay with that because I don't have to be in this blissful love in order to enjoy the company of my partner. I don't have to be in head over heels in love in order to enjoy the company of my partner. But again, I'm with the individuals that I've been having conversations with. We were in agreement with, there are certain deal breakers, that although you may not have this head over heels, in love, there are some things that you must have. You must have trust. And the trust doesn't necessarily have to be trust that you won't be with another person. Because if that's if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. Some people are all right with having multiple partners. Again, I keep saying, let humans have their own human experience. Let each person have their own human experience. Stop putting and projecting whatever you don't like on others. If someone says, I don't mind my partner having other partners other than me, let them have it. If you don't want to be a part of it, you don't have to. But so it doesn't have, that trust doesn't necessarily have to be simply trust that you won't step out on me with someone else. It could be, I need to be able to trust you that you won't steal from me. I need to trust that if I tell you something, that you won't go back and not just repeat it to someone else or throw it back in my face. I need to be able to trust you around my children. If you have children, I don't have any children. Well, I do have a grown child and have a grandchild, but I don't have any children, like kids. So I think those are the definitions that people need to really look at more so outside of trusting that you won't necessarily cheat on me. And that could be a part of your definition, absolutely, of trust. So I'm saying all this to say that I have been enjoying these conversations with the women regarding, I'm sorry, my mouth got juicy. Sorry. I've been enjoying the conversations with these women regarding intimacy, sex, and relationships. And so I'm like, well, maybe I should add that as another layer to my YouTube channel. But to what degree, I don't know. It's just because I have them, how can I say it? They're so random. Like, again, I can just say, okay, random conversation with an individual just at my job. Somebody can come in my job and they can just start talking. It can turn into a conversation about intimacy. It can turn into a conversation about sex. It can turn into a conversation about their partnership, whomever they're with, their relationship. So, and I keep having all these conversations in the back of my mind, like, I really need to get some of this information out, because I think that other women are feeling this way. Other women have probably gone through this. And so I don't know if I want to, have it called story time or just, I don't know what to call it. But I just feel like I need to share some of this information because I think it's good information. And I think as women, we need to have more healthier conversations around intimacy, sex, and relationships versus only having those hard conversations when we're not happy in the relationship, when we're being mistreated in the relationship. I used to tell my girlfriends, well, I didn't used to tell them, I had to learn to tell them when we were in college, I didn't understand how to separate how I felt about my friends with who they were with. So I would bring up bullshiggity in front of their partner. If they told me something and I didn't like it, I was like, yeah, and you better make sure you pay for her meal next time when you take her out, because that's not right. No, what wasn't right was me stating that to their partner at the time because they told me that in trust. And I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna help you out, sis. I'm just gonna let them know I know, and you ain't no good. It wasn't a good thing. So I eventually had to tell them, y'all, please stop telling me bad stuff. Please stop telling me bad things about the people that you all are in relationships with. Because what eventually I had to come to the realization was, when you all fall back in love, I still remember. And I wasn't able to, I wasn't mature enough to be able not to say anything. And so even to this day, you know, my BFF, she's very careful what she discloses to me about her relationship with her husband. And so she should. Why? First of all, because she's married and I'm not. So I don't have the problems. I don't have the problems because I'm not married. But also because she understands that Vita still suffers from not being able to filter out things. I may not come straight out and say, I don't like the fact that you didn't pay for her meal. I'm going to say it in a slick way. When, so we're going out to eat, so who paying? So are the men paying, or are we going Dutch? You know, I'll say silly stuff like that to make it very clear. I know you're cheap and you're not paying. So I'm just laughing at myself because I have matured. I know I have. But I'm just seeing if this is a conversation that maybe you all would like to continually have on this channel, on this Facebook page. Again, I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't know. Maybe I should just put it in both spaces and then just see where it goes. But it's been 20 minutes, y'all. 21 minutes and almost 22 minutes. I'm gonna go. So as I always say, be the best you can be, because you know what? All the others are taken. Switches, y'all. Bye-bye.